The Flamingo Who Forgot by Alan Durant and Franco Rivoli. The flamingo stood in the lake on one leg. Along trumped an elephant. "Why are you standing on one leg?" he asked. "So that I don't forget," said the flamingo. "Elephants never forget," said the elephant. "What are you trying to remember?" The flamingo frowned. "I've forgotten," she said. "Oh, well, perhaps I can help," said the elephant. "It's bath day today, you know. Perhaps that's what you wanted to remember." He squirted water into the air. The flamingo shook her head. "I bath every day," she said. "That's not what I've forgotten, but thanks for your help." A monkey waltzed by. "Say, why are you standing like that?" he asked. "To remember something," said the flamingo, "but I've forgotten what." "Well, isn't that crazy?" said the monkey. "But don't worry, I can help. It's the jungle dance contest today. That's what you wanted to remember." The flamingo shook her head. "The flamingos don't dance," she said. "That's not what I've forgotten, but thanks for your help." Just then a cockatoo flew by. "Hey, don't you look funny?" she said. "I'm trying to remember something important," said the flamingo again, "but I've forgotten what." The cockatoo chuckled. "I can help you there," she said. "It's National Nest Building Day. That's what you're trying to remember." The cockatoo picked up some twigs and flew up into a tree. The flamingo shook her head. "I live in the water and my nest is made of mud," she said. "That's not what I've forgotten, but thanks for your help." A hyena was the next to stop by, but he was no help at all. All he did was laugh, and the poor flamingo went pinker than ever. A fish popped up from under the water. "Are you the fishing post?" he asked. "No," said the flamingo. "I'm standing on one leg like this to remember something important, but I've forgotten what." "Oh," said the fish with a flick-flack swish. "Today's this lake swimming gala. I expect you were trying to remember that." The flamingo shook her head. "I can't swim," she said. "I'm sure that's not what I've forgotten, but thanks for your help." The flamingo stood in the lake on one leg, feeling very silly for being so forgetful. Along came another flamingo, carrying a parcel. "Hello, Fedora," he said. "I see you're trying to remember something." "That's right, Fred," she sighed, "but I've forgotten what." Fred smiled. "Perhaps I can help," he said, and he handed Fedora the parcel. "For me?" she said. "For you," said Fred. Suddenly, Fedora smiled so much she went bright pink with happiness. "At last, I've remembered," she cried, and she put her leg down. "What I wanted to remember is that today's my birthday." "Happy birthday," said Fred. Then Fedora the flamingo had a birthday that she would never forget. There's all her friends. All right, so we are going to make our own little flamingo today. So we're going to start with a piece of craft foam. And if you don't have a piece of craft foam, you can just use a thick piece of paper or a piece of cardboard that you color pink. And we're going to shape our craft foam into the shape of a heart. So you need to just outline a heart on there and cut it with your scissors. So that's what you're going to start with. And then the next part is going to be the head. So on my flamingo, I have a long neck that comes in with a head and a pointed beak. And I have this funny shaped pipe cleaners. And if you don't have those, you can take a regular pipe cleaner and you can shape it in the shape that you need. And then you take an extra little piece, and all you need to do is just wrap it around there and make a thicker spot up at the top for the little part of the head where it curls before the beak. So that's all I did there. So I'm going to take these ones here that I have with these little fluffy bumps on them, and I'm going to cut it down with my scissors, and then I'm just going to shape it. So the head of the flamingo comes up with a long neck and then turns at the top, and then there's a little beak sticking out. So I've got that. But I'm going to add a little eye. So I have my little googly eyes that we always have in our craft supplies, and I'm going to stick that on. So that's going to take a couple of minutes to dry. And then the next step is to attach that onto your heart. So I'm going to do that there with some glue. In addition, I'm going to put a little bit of tape on it so that we can just show you when we're done here on the video without having to wait for all of our glue to dry. So if you don't have tape at home, that's fine. You can use just glue if that's going to work better for you. But I'm going to do both for now. So then you can just sort of adjust and shape your head and neck on there the way that you like it, and make sure it's taped down tight. And then the next step I'm going to do is my flamingo's tail. So I'm going to take one of my pieces of pink feather that we also have in our craft supplies, and I'm going to add that to the other side of my heart-shaped body. And I'm just going to stick that on there, and then also use a piece of tape just to secure it till my glue dries. So that's what we have so far. And then for the legs, I've used 2 different pipe cleaners. So I'm basically just taking one of these and cutting it in half. Flamingos have long legs, so you need to start with, it's better to start with a longer piece than a shorter. And one of my legs is just going to stick out this way, so this is a little bit too long for my flamingo. So I'm going to have one leg that's out straight, and then my other leg I'm going to have bending. So I'm going to attach those on, and then I'm going to shape those legs how I want them. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some glue on the back, and then after I get them in the spot, I'm going to stick some tape on just to fasten them. Again, just so that we can finish our craft and not have to wait for the glue to dry. So if you like your flamingo like that, then you could be done. I like to have a little bit of a bent leg for my flamingo. They always look like they're standing on one foot or one foot more than the other foot. So I'm going to do that. And then at the very end, if you have enough feathers left, you can add some to the front of your flamingo as well, because they have a fluffy body with all of their feathers. So that is our flamingo who forgot.